Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. RVD here, and today in this video we'll be starting with the basic concepts of control structures. So in this video we'll have an introduction to control structures. We'll understand what are the different control structures we have and what all we are going to learn in the coming videos. Okay, so to start with, let us first see the types. Okay, so control structures can be divided into three basic types. The first one is called as sequential control structure. The second one is called as conditional control structure. And the third one is iterative, or as we also call it as looping. Okay, so let us look at what comes under each, and then for all the videos we'll be having after this, we'll be looking at each of the control structure in detail along with the syntax, programs and everything. To start with sequential control structure, it's a default control structure that we always have. So if you don't think of using anything, sequential is still there. So there is nothing that we require to do explicitly. See, whenever we do programs, we have done already some decent number of programs. Don't you think that control goes from one line to the other line automatically? Because it follows sequential control structure. Fine. So as I said, there is nothing to learn in that or nothing to do in that. It's simply the one which exists by default. Okay, so let's look at the other types. So let us have conditional control structure. So under conditional control structure, basically the idea is you do decision making. So it will not take a sequential flow. It will either go on one side or the other side depending on the condition. So to start with, a very simple first control structure under conditional will be if statement. Okay, we'll obviously do that in detail separately. Here I'm just giving you an introduction. So if statement is uni-optional. So what we have is we'll have a condition being checked. If the condition is true, then within the block, whatever statements are there will be executed. Otherwise, they will be skipped. So it is just to decide whether this block of statements should be executed or should be skipped. Moving further, we have something called as if else. Now in if else, we are obviously having bi-optional. That means if the condition is true, we have one set of block. If it is false, then there will be a block after else. It's like a normal English as we say. If tomorrow is a holiday, then maybe I'll go for a picnic. Else I have to go to college. Something like that. So when in English we use if and else, the similar concept is being used for programming. Now this if else could be nested, so that we have if else within if else to make more stronger conditions. So I can have nested if else. Sometimes I cannot decide just by checking one condition. So if it is like something is true, then you check if this is also true, then I'll be able to do this, else I'll do that. All this if else is within if. Likewise, we can even have else having if else within itself. So in short, I can have if else within it if else. So it is called as nested if else. Don't worry if you're getting a bit confused. You will be able to see the further videos where I'll be able to explain if else with proper syntax, with proper flow diagram, and we'll also have some good number of programs for making you more comfortable. Okay, so that is about nested if else. Then we'll have something called as if else ladder. Now, as we say for nested if else, it is if else within if else. For if else ladder is if else after if else. So it's actually it's like, if you have a condition true, then do this, else if this is true, then do this, else if this is true, then do this, and so on. It takes up the basic structure of providing options or selection. So we have another version which C provides us in if else, or maybe similar to if else ladder, I would say, and that is nothing but switch case. So if at all one try to understand the internal logic for if else ladder and switch case, it's exactly the same, only they have a different syntax. Okay, so that's the basic set of control structures we have under conditional control structures. Let's move on to the third one, that is iterative or looping control structure. Now here we get a capacity to repeat or iterate a set of code for multiple times, or whatever number of times we want to. The first control structure under that we have is a for loop. Now just to give you in brief, as I already said, we will be having videos doing it in detail later on. But just to give you a brief, if at all I know how many times I need to repeat, so it's like a deterministic iteration, then I can go for loop. Okay, because it's actually forces you to go from one point to the other point by having certain sort of increment, decrement, or any other sort of modification. So in short, when I know how many iterations are supposed to be done, then it is preferable to use for loop. But instead of knowing how many times to repeat, if I know up to what to repeat, so if I know the condition, up to this condition I am supposed to repeat, then the better option is called as while loop. Along with while loop, we have its counterpart, that is do while loop. The only difference is while is called as entry control because you do check the condition at the entry, whereas do while is called as exit control. You do check it at the exit. Okay, so that is basically while and do while. For that matter, when you learn, you'll understand even that is entry control because the condition is checked at the beginning. Okay, so my dear friends, this is what we can understand as an outline of control structures. Three types: sequential, conditional, iterative. Sequential is by default, conditional has got this set of control structures, and iterative has this one. Now along with that, I'll be also teaching you two control statements. They don't come under these control structures, but they actually are used along with control structures. So the two control statements that I'll be teaching you is nothing but break and continue. So we'll also understand what is break, what is continue, how to use them, and what is their significance. Fine. So this is regarding the outline of control structure. This video was only meant for giving you the outline of control structure. So with this, I hope I made it clear for you. You should look for the further videos to get more insights on the same topic with much more detailing. Fine. So as far as the introduction to control structure is concerned, that's it from my side. Thank you and happy learning.